to record, all come to, talk about the topic of, yeah, bullying. I mean, it's an uncomfortable topic. It's something that people don't really talk about, but it's something that we feel that it's so important, to us at Aspire Hub, and it's part of our Kindness 365 program. We're helping to build our youths, to take away the effect of bullying for those that have been bullied, and for those that have, probably even bullied others, and they never saw anything wrong with it. Now we're here as parents, young parents, and we have younger youth, younger youths or teens, or in our lives that we can influence through all of the things that we're going to learn from this discussion. And it will help us to be able to relate with others and just talk to them and say, this isn't right. We should be kind. We should be kind 365 days of the year. Every day of the year is a new opportunity to be kind. Yeah. Mrs. Olutu is feeling me.
Oh, yeah.
I find it very difficult to just call her first name. I'm sorry. I'm going to be saying Mrs. Olutu a lot.
I'm just going to breathe. Take a deep breath. Okay.
5 on the dot. And once again, I just want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you for taking time out. I know that it's not convenient. Everyone is really busy. We have our schedules are really full, but we've taken this time to come out and talk and have this conversation. And I am so glad that we are here. This once again, I'm just gonna introduce Aspire Hub. Aspire Hub is an organization of people that have come together to share ideas and share and spread the word about positive positive things that youth can learn. We're here to spread positivity amongst youth. Basically, that's basically it. And Kindness 365, yeah, I'm sure some people are wondering, oh, what's Kindness 365 all about? Well, it's basically a program. It's our program. It's an opportunity that we started, because there was this bullying campaign in February, and then was it February? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it was February. And then we decided to take it beyond just 1 month of talking about bullying. We decided to take it beyond 1 month and to just make it something that we discuss even 365 days of the year. Like I said before, every day is an opportunity to be kind. Every day is an opportunity to show kindness to others. And we want to bring this positivity, this positive mindset, this positive kind of thinking to all of the youths around us. People around us, our kids, our friends, our nephews and nieces, our cousins. We have a lot of youths around us that we can positively influence. And we made this meeting open. I'm hoping I sent it to some of my nieces, some of the younger people that I have in my network. I sent the invite to them, and I'm hoping that they can join so we can also hear from them and hear their perspectives. But yeah, so basically this is what it is. And like I said, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, it's an informal discussion, just for about 60 minutes for us to talk about the issue of bullying, for us to share our ideas and for us to learn. So I'm just going to move on to the next slide, which is still basically continuing to welcome all of us. Yeah, so everyone is welcome here. We're about 7 of us here. I would, throw the floor open for those that are comfortable in a, even if you're in a noisy place, please still go ahead and just put on your mic and introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself. Tell us something, a fun fact about you. You can also go ahead to type it in the chat. You can unmute yourself and introduce yourself, or you can go ahead to type something in the chat. The floor is open.
Hi, I'm Dami.
Hi, Dami.
Hi, nice to be here. I'm really feeling you right now, as in. Okay, so fun thing about me, I think you know already. I'm a nationality of 2 countries in the same continent. I'll leave you to start to keep imagining that. All right.
Thank you so much, Dami, for introducing yourself. Dami is also a good friend of ours. He's a good friend of the family. He is also a part of Aspire Hub, and he has contributed a lot even to this initiative. It's not just me. I mean, I'm just here hosting, I'm just here facilitating, but there's a lot of good people in the background putting in a lot of hard work and making sure that this comes to life. And we really appreciate you, Dami, and thank you for your time, for being here. Is there anyone else that wants to go ahead to tell us about themselves and just introduce themselves?
We can see you, Itunu.
Yeah, we see Itunu. Go ahead.
I think they are muted.
Oh, Itunu, you're on mute. If you're speaking, we can't hear you because you're on mute.
She was changing the name instead of introducing herself. My name is Felicia Jalabi, and this is Itunu Jalabi. Itunu is 7 years old, and we are joining you from New York.
Oh,
and thank you for inviting us. We look forward to learning about bullying and how to be kind and friendly to all youths and even the older people. Thank you. And nice to meet everyone.
Nice to meet everyone.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Itunu, and thank you, Foluka Jalabi. We are so glad to have you all the way from New York. Thank you so much for joining. It's so good to have you here. I have another introduction in the chat. Okay, so this is coming from Kemi Boye Fakunle. She's saying, I'm just gonna try to open the chat now so I can see clearly. Okay, so she says she's glad to be here. And the fun fact about her is that since she moved to Canada, she has embraced the baking side of hers. Ooh, would love to enjoy some of your baking goodies, Kemi. Oh yeah, I've actually tasted Kemi's chin chin. I think Kemi actually makes the best chin chin, and I'm looking forward to the next time I'm going to eat her chin chin, actually. Yeah, great. She looks forward to learning more on the subject matter of bullying. Thank you so much for being here, Kemi. So who's going next? Is Tommy available? Tommy Layo? Tommy, Tola, Okpeyemi, you can go ahead to introduce yourselves before we move on to the next item in the agenda.
Oh, hi everyone. My name is Tola. Nice to meet everyone. Just here to learn all about bullying. It's something that one of the hosts said that we don't talk about so often, and it happens almost like every day. And yes, so how to address those issues when they come up, those very difficult conversations that we tend to shy away from, and just be firm when addressing those issues. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Tola. Thank you so much. We're glad to have you here. And yes, definitely, we are gradually breaking down the culture of silence on bullying. And there's, so many other things that we don't talk about, but these are important things. These are things that affect people even from, from when they're very young. And we're going to talk much more about that before I start. Before I start to go into the main topic. We're still on introductions. So yeah, thank you so much, Tola. We're glad to have you here. Any more introductions? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead once more to introduce myself for those that joined us later on, and I haven't said, so much about me. Well, as you can see, my name is Mayowa Adewale. So I'm a mom, a business analyst, and well, people call me a linguist, some people call me a language professional, some people call me a translation specialist. You can call me any one of them. Yeah, okay, a fun fact about me. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people know this. I speak about 5 languages. I think I just have that that flair for languages. So I do speak English, I speak French, I speak German, I speak Yoruba, and I speak Hausa. Those are the 5 languages that I'm quite fluent in. And then, of course, I have just a little bit of knowledge of some other languages. So yeah, that's me. Yeah, I'm a mom to 2 beautiful kids. I have my gorgeous daughter and a very, very beautiful son. He is so amazing. And I'm also married to the most amazing man on earth. I call him Mr. Amazing. Yeah, so that's basically all about me. You probably get to know more about me as we go on and as we talk and all of that. I'm also going to introduce my co-host. She is the founder, she's the brain behind all of this, the founder of Aspire Hub. So I'm going to just, let Mrs. Tokwe Olotu have the floor.
Wow, wow, wow.
Introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for introducing me. My name is Tokwe Olotu. Some people call me Rebecca. That's my middle name. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm just enjoying listening to my co-host, my fellow host, my co-host, Mayowa, doing a good job. Like she said, I started Aspire Hub. It's a project that means a lot to me. I've been doing this in different forms in the last 2 decades plus, working with different people, doing it in different forms. But Aspire Hub started last year here in Canada. Then we also have some teams in Nigeria doing some other awesome stuff. I'm a project management professional. I'm also a nutritionist. I am a mother of 2 wonderful kids. I'm a wife of 1 amazing man. What else? I love to cook a lot, and I love to talk about food. I actually have a business around food called Food Porch. I love to write. I love to engage with young people and parents. Yeah, there's so many things I love to do. I think we should stop now.
Well, definitely. We could spend like the entire 60 minutes just talking about you because she's a woman that wears so many hats. She does so many things. I like to say she's just a hardworking person, She loves to do a lot of things. She has her hands in a lot of things, and she's doing amazing at all of them. Like you wear so many hats, and you wear them well. You look gorgeous when you have every hat on. And she's quite amazing. Yeah, yeah. I'm also going to, just continue to let her have the floor to continue to tell us about kindness365 and the reason why we are here. So.
Okay, so like Mayowa said earlier, Aspire Hub is a youth serving organization. We're a non-profit organization. We do all sort of work with the youth. And part of the work we do is helping youth to build their self-esteem. their self-confidence so they can go for their dreams. We've seen that a lot of people, a lot of adults struggle. Yeah, it's, yeah, good. Maybe you can do some cooking show someday.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
So we've seen that a lot of adults are not taught certain things when they were kids. And people still struggle with stuff today. So we want to help our youth overcome some of those challenges that they face on the way to becoming successful adults, responsible citizens, and most importantly, exemplary leaders. We want to build great leaders. We have a lot of projects in the works. We have a lot of things that we are working on to do, but we are going to be unveiling them gradually. So kindness365 campaign is just one of our community engagement initiatives to get into our community and talk about some of the things that are very hard to talk about. Things like harassment, things like discrimination, things like bullying, things like being maltreated, like we are minority, we are people of color. And so we go through a lot of things. Like just this week, I have engaged with a number of young people and adults. And some actually even told me that they can't talk about these things in public. Some parents have gone through even, to the point of going to their kids' school and fighting. Some have, used different methods, different intervention. And these are things that are tough to talk about. So our goal is we want to promote health. We want to promote better relationships. We want to promote kindness. We want to promote safety, inclusion, and most importantly, healthy self-esteem among our youth, in their schools, in homes, in neighborhoods, in sports clubs, everywhere they go. And we want them to carry these values with them all through life, because when you have a healthy self-esteem, you can conquer the world. There's a lot you can achieve, and then we see a lot of our youth struggle with a lot of things. So this is just to start the conversation as we address some of these other issues, and then I'm just super excited to have all of you in this room today. And I can't wait for the amazing changes that will be happening in our community. So just a little bit more about this kindness365. You can break my glasses. Like somebody can harass me and break my glasses. And my mom will get me a new one, right? I'm talking about myself as a child. If someone breaks my child's glasses, I will buy another glasses for that child. But I do not have the power to heal. I do not have the power to take away the hurts that come alongside. I do not have power to mend a broken mind. Because when there is confrontation, when something happens between people, there's damage that is done. Some might be physical, but there are unseen damages that are, deep down on the mind that people carry through life. And just like Maya said, this is very tough to talk about. And we are not therapists. We are going to be talking about these things just as a way to help and giving tips that we know. I will be bringing subject matter experts into the room from time to time, talk about different topics that will help our youth to handle some of these problems. So I will hand it over back to Myra to do a better job than me in taking this away. Thank you, Myra.
You did an amazing job, ma'am. You have big shoes. You have big shoes for me to fill. Yeah, definitely true. Everything that you said, bullying goes beyond what is done physically. It's what is, done to the mind of the person. And we don't have the power to heal. People have to, just heal one way or the other. Yeah. I'm going to just be reading out some of the statistics that we, in the course of our research that we have seen that concerns bullying. And the first one says that about 1 in 10 adults reported that a child aged 8 to 17 living in their household has been a victim of cyberbullying. And in about 7 in 10 cases, the victim was female. So so bullying goes beyond, just physical. It's now getting virtual. Back in the day, it was just when you close from school or wherever, when you're in your safe space, you're at home. nobody can get there to bully you, but now people can actually, bully themselves online, and that's really horrible. Another fact says that so this is adverse childhood experiences can contribute to mental health issues in adulthood. In Alberta, a provincial survey found out that before the age of 18, almost a third of participants, that's 27.2%, experienced at least one type of abuse, and nearly half experienced at least one form of household dysfunction. Those are really serious statistics. I think we have some more. Yeah. There's also statistics that show us that Canada has the 9th highest rate of bullying in the 13-year-olds category on a scale of 35 countries. Wow, that's high. At least 1 in 3 adolescents in Canada have reported being bullied recently. Among adult Canadians, 38% of males and 30% of females reported having experienced occasional or frequent bullying during their school years. Another statistic says 47% of Canadian parents report having a child victim of bullying. Participation in bullying increases risk of suicidal ideas in youth. That's serious. Girls are more likely to be bullied on the internet than boys, and 7% of adult internet users in Canada, aged 18 years and older, have self-reported to have been a victim of cyberbullying at some point in their lives. Whoa. I'm exhausted just reading 2 pages of statistics. Those are like really serious statistics. And the fact that this is happening and people are not talking about it is very concerning. And this is the reason why we are here. It's uncomfortable to have these conversations. And Mrs. Olotu, please tell us more about having uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, just from my interaction with working with young people, I've been doing this throughout my throughout my youthful days into my adulthood, and even something that I would do to the law calls me, just interacting with the youth and getting to help in my own little way. And it's painful to be treated less than you are. It's painful to be harassed just because of who you are, because I'm big, because I'm on the big side, because I am on the slim side, because of my skin color, because of my last name, because of my, whatever. And you tend to internalize that, and you dwell on it, and it does something to you. And that's why you don't want to talk about it, because you are ashamed of it, or because you are afraid you might be judged further, or because you are still dealing with the fact that maybe they are right, maybe I'm really stupid. Someone says you're stupid or you're not smart, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I'm really not smart, maybe I'm really stupid, because it's something you're still struggling with. And that's why you don't want to talk about it with anyone, because it's something that bugs you, something that makes you either ashamed or afraid or feel lesser than you are. So it's not cool. That's one of the reasons why people don't like to talk about it, just because it's not cool to talk about.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, that's basically, I agree with you. That's basically why people don't want to talk about it. They just feel like they're uncool if they've been bullied. Well, there are various ways that, various shades of bullying and harassment. I mean, it could come in any form. Like she said, it could be people fat shaming, body shaming, people saying, oh, why are you so fat? Why are you so, it could be anything. It could be mean words. It could be insults. It could be, I have some examples on the next slide. It could be people just mispronouncing somebody's name, feeling like, oh, your name sounds funny and I'm going to call you so and so name. It could be teasing or pushing and shoving on the playground and so on. And all of these things have effects on people, young whether young or old, whether they're youths or they're adults, in one way or the other, all of these things, they fall under the umbrella of bullying, and they have an effect on people. They have an effect on people's self-esteem. They have an effect on people's minds. They have an effect on people's thoughts. And it's I don't know, it's something that really needs to be addressed, something that needs to be, that there needs to be a change. We need to stop this. And that's why we have the stop sign in our image. We need to stop rumors. We need to stop teasing, bullying, threats, and so on. We're going to move on to the next slide. And we're going to, so the next slide is, we want to hear from you. Myself and Mrs. Olosu have spoken, but even before we go into saying what to do if you are being bullied or harassed, the slide before that says we want to hear from you. Let's hear from you. We want to share our stories. We want to share, our experiences. People that have, people have experienced bullying in one way or the other, and we just want to share those experiences. I'll go first. I'll talk about an experience that I had. It was, I grew up in northern Nigeria. I grew up in Kano, and I went to an all-girls boarding house for secondary school, right? And for those of us that have been to, boarding house or, high school, wherever, even here in, Canada or any other country, that there's a lot of bullying in school, right? And for me, that wasn't even the main issue, because as time went by, I grew to, I grew a thick skin, and I knew how to handle myself and how to manage myself. But this particular experience stands out to me because I had just gotten into a new school. I joined them in the second year, that's JSS2, and I was still fairly new. And in my first few weeks, one day after school, I was getting ready to go to my hostel, and in between the end of classes and when we have our lunch, we have about if like 20-30 minutes of break, before we go into the dining hall to eat. And then a group of girls just accosted me from my class. They just came, like, I can remember off the top of my head 6 of them, and I still remember their names up until now. And they just came and they were just being mean to me for no particular reason. And they were so mean to me that I broke down in tears on that on that particular in that particular situation, for that particular experience. I broke down in tears because it was so weird, having not done anything to them. But that was not even the most interesting part to me. The most interesting part was that there were 2 girls amongst this group that they were kind of family friends. I knew them outside of school. They were in church. We attended the same church, and my parents knew them. My parents knew their parents. We were family friends. And these girls were very, very quiet when they were at home. They were the perfect kids. They were angels, whenever we are at home. But when we are in school, they change. And the funny thing is that my parents would, even my mom, she would even say, "Oh, look at this girl. She's so good. She's so well behaved. You should be more like her. She's so well behaved." And in my mind, because I never shared this experience with my mom, this experience that I had, when I was in school, I never shared it when I got back home. I never shared it with my mom or my siblings or my parents or anyone to say, "Oh, this is what they did to me when I was back then in school. They called me names. They did this. They said this about me, and I didn't do anything wrong to them." I never shared that. Meanwhile, my parents would be like, "Oh, these girls are so nice. Oh, they are so well behaved. Oh, they are the perfect children." And I kept that to myself. And it was when this program, when we were putting this program together, that was when I realized, wow, I never even shared that story with anyone. And and that's just one story. And I'm sure a lot of people have, stories like this. So please, The floor is open right now for you to go ahead and just share your story. If there's anything you want to share with us about bullying, share an experience. It may not have happened to you, it may have happened to someone you know. Please just, the floor is open right now for anyone to go right ahead. Just unmute yourself and share your experience with us. The room is quiet.
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
So
Esther.
I guess I'll just break the silence. Yeah, good presentation. Thanks to our wonderful hosts for the wonderful program. Yeah, it's a very important topic. Many of us just bear it in silence. Sometimes we just in order to make it kind of less painful, we just give it a name and say, oh, it doesn't matter, probably I deserved it, or probably you just try to um give it a name just to make it less painful, but it's a reality that we all deal with. So I would say, given my nature, like i I used to be a very, very serious introvert, like seriously introverted, until I started doing some work. Like my career actually brought me out of my shell, and I'm not yet really out of my shell. And um, thinking about it, one of the contributing factors is that I used to be so bullied while young. So it really affected my self esteem because I had a very rough um, childhood years. So in the middle of being dealing with rough childhood years, and people seeing that, oh, this girl is actually not able to do anything, or in a disadvantaged state, the bullying kind of amplified then. And before I knew it, it became something that drew me back into the shell more and more. So it's very important. That's why there are some things that I don't want to see my daughter go through, because I went through with them and I understand what they are. So every time I keep checking up on her, I go to our teachers. I mean, our teacher in school. I ask her. I still asked our teacher this evening when I went to pick her up, like, what's going on? And because I really don't want her to go through it, so I would just share like three examples. Very sure I'm going to be very quick with that with them actually. So I remember when I went to a very like primary school. We call it primary school in Nigeria. And unfortunately, I don't know. Um, I came from a very humble background that, I was one of the poor students in school. So we had, because of the nature of my school, we had students that have parents that were rich, well to do. And then, I used to tell people close to me that I didn't start enjoying schooling until I changed my school in secondary school. I got to SS1. That was when I knew I went to a school, because from primary school to JS3 was kind of a struggle for me, given my family condition then. So I remember being on an excursion at Ashejire in Ibadan. And while our boss, so like I said, there's still this kind of, even our teachers contributed to it. Some of, they don't allow some of we, students that come from humble backgrounds to participate in some activities. And my school being a very eyebrow school, like, we have gymnastics, we have all various extracurricular activities, but I never participated in them because, I don't even have the money to buy the uniform or buy the costumes they need. So, you see them call some students out and then tell them to participate in some things and then leave. So I just resigned to fate, and I became hostile, like, because there was nobody to fight for me. And I couldn't go home and say what I was going through because, number one, I just kept it to myself. And growing up, I realized that that has really, really affected me, my self-esteem and stuff. So that's why I don't joke with it. So I remember this girl, her mom was a lawyer, and they've been bullying me, and I kind of built a wall around myself. I became very hostile. You come to me, I slap you, like like I don't take nonsense. Like, even though I'm quiet, so I don't talk, but I don't take nonsense. So that was just my own way of coping with all the bullying and the stuff I was going through as a child. So I remember this girl, all of a sudden she just ran. Our boss was trying to maneuver the bridge, like have a U-turn, and they had to pack all the students into one small space. And all of a sudden this girl was just coming because she was on the fat side, and then she pushed me. I almost fell into the water, right? And I knew that wasn't right. That wasn't She couldn't have done it to any other child in her category. So I was scared for my in fact my life flashed before me. Like, I could have just you know gone with the water or something. And sometimes when I think about it, I feel like asking the girl today, like, what were you thinking? So that's one. Then I also remember one of my teachers even telling me, she gave me a name then, Ngozi. She used to call me Ngozi. And that wasn't because she liked me. She was calling me Ngozi out of spite. She was an Igbo teacher. I remember primary four, Mrs. I remember her name because of that incident. So I know she used to call me Ngozi instead of Esther. Probably Ngozi, that name was attached to a child that is supposed to be like maybe an house help or something. And I remember her telling me that I should tell my parents that when I get to, because like, the school is one of the top schools, so, and because of the issues with school fees and stuff like that, I remember her telling me to tell my parents that they should not bother to take me to a private secondary school. I should just go to a public school. And that stuck in my head. Like, so I knew, okay, if I was even going to go to a public secondary school, I was going to go to a good one. So, and I thank God was on my side. I wrote exam for a very good school, um, government school, and I got admission. And along the line, God changed the story of the family, and I I got admitted into a. I'm sorry, my daughter is kind of making some noise
It's
at the
fine. We
background.
hear you clearly.
Okay, yeah. So I remember, people that have my WhatsApp status will see that picture like some days ago. That's uniform. That was when I knew I started going to school. So
Wow.
one day I was coming from that private school. So I went to a public school for 3 years from JS1 to 3. And all of a sudden, God just started changing my story. And I was able to attend a private secondary school in SS1. And I remember coming home one day and seeing that teacher in my uniform, like private school uniform. And I remember running after her. I wanted to greet her so that she could see my uniform, that I'm in a private school, right? I don't know where that idea came from. But what I wanted to bring out is how that memory still kind of stays fresh. Like, it's still fresh in my memory. And that was like 4 years when I saw her on my way from coming from school, as in when I was going home from school one day. That was like I'm about 5 or 6 years apart. And I just wanted her to see me, that Mrs. Ibekwe, yeah, her name is Mrs. Ibekwe, I'm attending a private school, like, and on and on and on. So really, bullying is not it at all. It affects it, like, the long-term effect is sometimes it's very hard to reverse. I'm still dealing with this now. I work with Caucasians, and sometimes I tell myself, so here in my around my workspace, I have some sticky notes. One is be bold, face the giants, and stuff like that. So it's so amazing that these people look up to me and say, Esther, we know you can do this thing. They tell me that, Esther, talk, we want to hear you talk, and stuff like that. And I still doubt myself, like, really. So it's a very, very important topic to deal with. And yeah, so that's why I'm very passionate about it. So if there's any way we can help a child that has been bullied, please let's, by all means, let's help them in any way we can. And yeah.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, these are stories that are difficult to share, but we really appreciate you sharing that. And that just goes to show how deep, those words, just words, can, can create scars and, create deep wounds in people's hearts. And it could just, it goes, the ripple effect is something that it goes way beyond anyone could ever, anyone could even imagine, because it makes a almost like a permanent scar that people have to work hard at, healing themselves from that thing. I really appreciate you sharing this story, Esther. And I hope that this story is going to, you know, encourage someone out there that has also, been a part of, experienced bullying in one way or the other. I hope that this encourages them, that it tells them that you are not who they called you. You are not who they said you were. You are unique, and you have you have the ability to shine brightly, like Esther. Like Esther is doing so well, and she's a madam in her where she works. And it just goes to show that you could grow way beyond whatever it is that people try to call you, or try to put you down, or try to say mean things to you. Let's help people around us, like Esther mentioned. If we know anyone that's being bullied or be experiencing something like this, let's give them a helping hand. Let's open our hearts to them. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else wants to share. Like I mentioned before, this is a safe space. Please go ahead to share whatever experiences you may have had.
Okay, maybe we move forward.
Okay, yeah, so we'll move on to, talking about what to do if you are being bullied. So like we've already said, there are various shades of bullying, and what to do if you are bullied or harassed. You use your power to say yes to yourself. You believe in yourself, and it starts in the mind, really. It's something that starts in the mind. I'm going to let Mrs. Olotu talk to us more about this, because she kind of has more experience and more experience when it comes to this. So I'm just going to hand over the mic and the floor to Mrs. Olotu. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Esther, for sharing that beautiful story. And yeah, one of the ways that that has worked for me, I'm not going to share a lot of my stories today. Some of my stories are being documented in a book that I'm working on. Hopefully one of it can come in books that I'm working on, actually, but hopefully one is coming out this summer. Hopefully I get the discipline to finish it. But one of the ways that I've used and that I learned later, I didn't even know that was what it was called, but it was something that I actually used when I was way younger, is to use my power. We all have powers. And this power comes from inside, it comes from within us. And it takes building, it takes nurturing, it takes, a process of self-discovery to get to the point where you are comfortable in your own skin to say, not anymore. I know who I am. It takes a process. But that ability to stand up and look your bully in the face and say back off or go away or respond back starts in the mind. It's if someone is bullied continuously, if someone is harassed continuously, it means there's a lot of work to be done on the mind. Using your power means you're saying yes to yourself and no to peer pressure, no to bullies, no to anyone that harasses you. And it starts from actually knowing who you are, believing in yourself. Because the truth is, if someone says that I'm ugly, If someone says, oh, you are ugly, it will hurt me because I also believe that I'm ugly. It will pain me, like it will be more painful because I understand that, oh yeah, that's true. I'm really ugly. If someone says, oh, you're dumb, it will hurt me more because I believe that I'm stupid, that I'm not smart. But if I have overcome that and I have that power, like I've built my inner power to the point that I know who I am. I know that I'm beautiful. I know that I'm smart. I know that I'm intelligent. I know that, yes, I'm on the big side. Yes, whatever. Like I wear double extra large, but I'm beautiful. Yes, I am so skinny and tiny and they call me mosquito. Yes, I am beautiful because that is who I am. I love me the way I am. Until you build your inner man to the point where you say, I love me, I am okay, nothing is wrong with me, it will be hard to fight. It will be hard to stand up and say no. And that is why the core of this is actually building from within. Sometimes we are fighting outside world. We are trying to like, okay, yeah, you just go and say no, but in your mind, you are saying yes to what they are saying, and it hurts more. They say I'm poor, and I go, oh no, I'm so poor. And yes, I'm poor, but I also know that this is a situation that we are going through in my family for a period. Things will not always be like this. So if a kid comes to me that, oh, you are not here because you're not one of us. Okay, but I also know why I know I belong. I know that I am loved. My parents love me, and I have people that care about me. I had a lot of kids that teased me a lot about not having a father when I was young, when I was a kid. They teased me so much that one day I wanted my mom to produce a father for me by all means. You know, but I got to a point where I realized that I'm loved. I have people in my life that love me and care about me. People want to use the things that they know you are weak about or that you lack to harass you and bully you. But you have to get your power back. Know that yes, even though I don't have that, I also have this. Even if my parents don't have the fanciest cars, they have love for me. They provide for me. They care for me. It's important to believe in yourself and do not allow anyone to make you feel any lesser than who you are, regardless of social status, regardless of whatever money they have in their house, regardless of which part of town they live, regardless of which kind of vacation they go for. Do not, and I repeat, do not give anyone the power to make you feel any lesser than you are, not because of your accent, because of your skin color, because of your height, because of your looks, because of, whatever, because of what you have or because of what you don't have. This using of your power is going to help you to deal with bullies and also even to deal with other issues in life as you grow up as a young person. And even all of us, believing in ourselves, we all need it. Either you are 5 years old or you are 55 years old. We need to constantly believe in ourselves because the imposter syndrome is real. Like no matter whichever way you get to in your life. When I was going to start Aspire Hub, there's several times that I woke up and I'm like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. It's just going to be too much because I have this going on. There's no way I can do it. But I was so sure that this is something that I should be doing. And instead of saying no, I was sure in my mind, I started asking, how can I? How can I? And the vision is the early days. There's still lots of things to do. But every day, talking to the right people, we are engaging, we are brainstorming, instead of sitting down and feeling sad and just, being there and feeling sorry about that problem that is making people tease you and make you feel little. The better thing to do is say, how can we solve this problem? And we can talk about all of that later. Saying no, believing in yourself is the beginning of how to learn to say no to the small stuff so that when the bigger stuff comes, so that when it comes to a time when people are asking you to do drugs, when they're asking you to smoke, when they're asking you to send your nude picture, when someone is trying to sext you, when someone is trying to steal money from your father's credit card, or when someone is trying to make you do things that are against your family value or your faith, you have the inner power to say no because it is from within. It is not because daddy said so or mommy said so. It is because you yourself believe it for yourself as your personal value. You believe it and you live it, because there will be bigger no's to say in the future. We are all saying no. Being here today meant we said no. We said no to following our Instagram or taking a nap. Being here to talk about this today. So decision making is something that we will do all throughout our life. So dealing with that fear of, of fighting, because sometimes standing up to bullies means you are afraid. You're afraid of them, or you're afraid they might hurt you, or you're afraid they might go worse, or because you actually believe in what they're saying. But that process starts from the mind, and I will encourage us to continue to, look for ways to develop that inner mind, to build that strength from within. And there are so many strategies, which we might still talk about later if we have time, or maybe in another session.
Yeah.
Part of using your power is speaking up to say no and using your voice. That is still part of using your power. Because a lot of the time, for example, if someone says, let's use the issue of name calling that Esther gave. Someone was calling her a name that Ngozi is a good name. But in that teacher's mind, she has equated Ngozi to an house help, to the name that you will give somebody that is a house help, and was calling Esther that name because she believes that Esther does not belong. Like, I've had friends that their teacher asked them, they came to study abroad, and the teacher will ask them that, oh, are you from the royal family? Because they believe that the people that are from the royal family are the only ones that are qualified to study abroad. Like, these things come in different flavors. It comes from teachers, and it comes from people even unconsciously. It comes from people that think they thought they are trying to help you, but it comes out and you're like, really? So saying something like, if you feel this person is bigger than you, like someone like your teacher, you can say, hey, that's not my name. You've challenged something. You're not yelling, you're not fighting, no violence here. I'm all about cool. Hey, that's not my name. Or you say, if the person insists, if the kid insists, you can say things like, hey, if you don't stop calling me that name, I might report you. That's another subtle way to say, hey, what you are really stretching it, because the person has an advantage over you. That's why they could do that. But you need to step it up a little bit. Start using that power. It grows. And the thing is, once you practice it, it grows. Once you practice, just like practicing to play soccer, or practicing exercising, or practicing something. Or cooking. Once you do it, once you have the confidence to go to another level, there's a part of your brain that they call it RAS. That part of your brain now knows that, hey, you can do this. And then next time you do it again, and you do it again, and you are building that muscle, to say no. So, just speaking up gradually, without violence, without fighting, still being cool, that's part of using your power. Still on using your power, you can shut down the negative energy. Like, if you see this person is all about bad, and you are all about cool, like you said, right? And you have watched them, they just like to tease you, or just make you feel bad, or just make jest about your accent. I had a boss when I first came here in Canada, came to this country, and this guy would tease me about my accent. Like, I got to this company, I was doing like 3 people's job, like most of us immigrants do. You come to the country, you get a job, they give you a title, but that title is actually, to get you, to do many jobs. So I was doing whatever job they bring out to. And this guy would tease me about my accent. And I've been doing this forever. I know who I am, but I was being respectful. So the first time he did it, it wasn't a good atmosphere to talk. The next time, I just called him. I said, everyone has an accent. I said, what you think, whatever you're using, whatever language or form you're talking in, is an accent. So you have an accent as well. And so what? Let's even say I have an accent. So what? Can't you hear me? Like, let's talk about it. You think I have an accent? Is that a disadvantage? You have an accent, I have an accent. We're just different. Our tongue just rolls differently. Simple. So sometimes you need to shut down that negative energy in your own way. You could still give an example of name calling situation, you know, still not appearing to be upset. Someone says, "Oh, you're just a nerd. Look at you." You could respond by something like, "Oh, yeah, and I'm proud of it." They will be shocked because that was not what they expected. The thing about people that are trying to bully you or trying to harass you or make you feel bad is they want to get a reaction. They want to get a reaction, but do not give them. If you have built yourself, this is another level of using your power. I mean, like, there are baby steps of using your power. The baby step is just starting to use your voice a little bit, then you can diffuse the energy or shut it down. Don't let it thrive. Don't let it thrive. Tell them, oh, I'm a nerd. Okay, I'm proud of it. Or something like, "Oh, thank you for letting me know." Or somebody says you are fat. "Oh, really?" There are other things to do, but that's one of the ways, right? Because our time is really going. Just shutting down that energy and not, letting them get the reaction that they were hoping to get. Or you could just walk away. If they see that whatever they say or do does not bother you, they might leave you alone. And most importantly, see people that are harassing you as people that also need help. Some of them are struggling with serious, deep issues in their lives. Some of them are they need help as well. Bullies need help. People that are harassing you, some of them are doing it because their life is like breaking apart. And if you are the one bullying people as well, it could be that you are struggling with something, because it could come around in different way. We could be the ones harassing or maltreating others because somebody harassed us too. They say hurt people, right? So see people as needing help rather than all out for you. That positive mindset could actually help to kind of de-escalate a little bit. I'll hand it over back to the host.
Yeah, before we go on, we have a few questions in the chat box. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. We've had a lot of discussion going on in the chat. Thank you, Itunu. Itunu shared with us about cyberbullying. She said cyberbullying is when you bully someone in the internet, and that is very correct. Thank you very much, Itunu. She also asked the question. She said, what if you could ask the bully why he or she is bullying you? I mean, that's a great question. If someone is saying something mean to you and you're saying, "Why are you saying that to me?" I think that's a good that's a good question to ask your bully. I think that would keep them in check, because that will make them to realize that what they're doing is wrong. Mrs. Olusi is going to talk to us more about that. Another question that came from Dami. He said, should our focus be on helping people being bullied or working on certain punitive measures against bullying? And Maria responded saying that, well, both sides may work depending on the situation, because some bullies actually need help. And that is very correct. That is what Mrs. Olusu just said. Bullying it comes from maybe they themselves being bullied. Maybe a young boy in school is bullying his friends, but it's just because he's experiencing some form of bullying back at home. So sometimes, most times, even the bullies themselves need help. And Dami went further to say that, yeah, bullies need help, but that we might have a great chance of reducing bullying, maybe by 50%, if we put punitive measures in place, against bullying. So that's what has been going on in our chat. And I think we got a new message. Yeah, someone says that, Rolly, she says, although bullies need help, it does not justify what they do to bully people. I'm just going to pass, let Mrs. Olotu talk some more about all of these points that we have raised in the chat.
Yeah, we have, I'm so enjoying the interactivity. Thank you everyone for speaking up. And this is very exciting. Hopefully we can have another session soon and we can, tweak it again and have more people in the room. Our time is really going, and I want to make sure that we keep to time. Yes, I agree with Rolly. Because they need help does not justify what they do. We've seen bullies that hurt people so much that kids landed in the hospital. It is not acceptable. And in this part of the world that we live, there are consequences. Like if you do something, if you physically hurt someone, there are consequences to it. Like this state has consequences to it. You could get arrested, you could go to jail, there are so many things that could happen if you hurt someone. So at this point, just for this introductory class, or introductory chat, what we're trying to establish is just preventative measure that we can adopt as people, especially as people of color, as minority people. You don't want to be seen as the aggressive Black person, in the room. We're trying to give tools and tips to kind of help us, do our work, be in school, be good citizens, be great leaders. There are things that we need to learn in terms of language, how we talk to people. I've seen kids that have been accused of being rude just because of mannerism, because we Black people, we have our jazz and we have the way we do things, and it might be different. It might be perceived as different just because of the way we talk, the way we do things, and other kids might see it as wrong, or like, how do you, like, I remember the first day I did like this, before Wakanda, and I was trying to like tell my colleague that, oh, good job, and it was like, am I in trouble?
Wow.
Because it wasn't a sign that he is used to. It could mean like 1,000 things. But if I say that to my fellow Black person, they understand that I'm trying to say, go girl, or something, or together, or Wakanda, or whatever, like oneness, feeling like that, having that kindred spirit. But it might be different, might be perceived differently in a different circle. So being punitive, yes, there are consequences, but we're not going to highlight that today. There are links. We put links at the end of this presentation that kind of addresses things that can be done to kind of help people out, or even give people the consequences of their action. But I think our focus is more to kind of highlight some of the quick tips that we can use to manage some of this situation. I don't know if I kind of address some of the points, but like I said, this is the beginning of many more beautiful conversations to come. So we will compile the charts, the ones that are on the questions, the one we didn't answer very well. We will try to provide answers either on our social media platforms or on our website, or we address them the next time we have the opportunity to. I'll give it back to Myra.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. 60 minutes went by in a flash. It felt like we had so much, to do within 60 minutes, but we're going to try to keep and respect everyone's time. We're going to share the social media handles for Aspire Hub so that you could always reach out to us with more questions. And we're going to, someone is raising a hand. I'm just going to give her the opportunity to speak. Kindly give us a few more minutes of your time. Tola, please go ahead.
Okay, hi everyone. That was a very educative, informational talk that we just had. Thank you so much, Esther, and thank you, Tokwe Rebecca Olutu, for sharing as well. Just a suggestion, right? If we could take this a notch higher, I would really want, a lot of young people that are within my circle rather, to listen to this. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So I don't know what provisions we can make for them in the future. Have them around, like even people in Nigeria here, have their parents sign up so they can actually listen to this. I like the example she used where she said, ask your bully, like, why are you actually doing this? Or like, I'm going to report it. These things, they face it on a daily basis in school, right? And unconsciously, if not addressed, they begin to imbibe it as the normal. And we know it's not the norm. So if we can have them actually be a part of this and listen to this, yes, while listening for them, we can actually share for them. But it goes a long way if they are listening to it themselves and they are able to ask their questions. That's just all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Tola. We have, thank you. That was really insightful. And yes, indeed, Aspire Hub, the target is, at youths, at young people. And we did open this invitation to as many youths as possible. We said it was open to both students and parents, although we had just a few of them. We have it to know here representing the young people. And
No, we have more. We have Rolly, we have Dara and our friends.
oh,
We have
yes.
Boyawa. We have quite a number of our youth.
Oh,
So
yeah, my
we
Dinka is here. Yeah,
have them as we have more sessions. Would you hope to have more? There's so many other things that we plan to talk about. We wanted you, like, we had a point here about you telling. I want to quickly talk about that. Not being quiet. Like, if you see something, say something. Talk to your friend. Talk to your friend if someone is bullying you. Talk to your buddy. Don't die in silence. Don't keep it to yourself. Some people are not comfortable telling their parents. I was asking my kids, like, if someone bullies you, you tell me. And they were a little hesitant, and you're like, okay, yeah. But I know I've talked to other youth that said that they would never, ever tell their parents, But you can tell your body, but we also encourage you that sometimes you and your body might, your body, your friend might protest or might be afraid, So it's good to talk to an adult. There are always good teachers around that are able to help you. And someone the courage to talk to your parents. Your parents care about you. We are working for you. That's all we do. We are all about you kids. So please, tell if you see. And another point that I have here that I want to kind of mention is to encourage your friend. Do not record or take photos of a bullying situation. And now, as we talk more later, we're going to talk more about this. Another point that we have here is online safety, and we will have another session fully dedicated to online safety in the future, where we're going to give you guys tips, to stay safe online. Today I was on Instagram, and one person was trying to send me emojis about love emojis. Hello, darling. Hello, pretty. Hello. I'm like, really? They are all out there looking for you. So they are all there. They are on TikTok. They are on Instagram. They are on Facebook. Other strangers, and that is how they start. Very soon, they start getting your number. Very soon, they start asking you to send your new pictures. Very soon, they start asking for your parents' data. Be careful online. And we're going to have a whole session in the nearest future talking about online safety. Another point that I wanted to quickly talk about is if you have bullied someone, apologize. Just say sorry. Go to them and say sorry, and get help. Getting help is a sign of strength. Getting help is not a sign of weakness. Getting help is a sign that you love life, you love yourself. Don't get to the point where you are beginning to think negative thoughts. We don't even want to go there. Something is wrong, get help and get it on time. I'll give it back to Mayowa so that,
Yeah.
so that
we're going to quickly wrap up. Our social media handle is at Aspire Hub HQ. So that's at ASPIRE HUB HQ. We're so glad to have had this much interactions today and this much engagement. And we are going to have more sessions like this where we are going to dive deeper into this topic, because like I said at the beginning, 60 minutes is definitely not enough to discuss this topic in its entirety. Please follow us on our social media handles. Like I mentioned before, at Aspire Hub HQ. We're going to compile all of these questions and we're going to address them on our pages. This session is also being recorded and it's going to be posted on our website, www.aspirehub.org. And we're still having so many comments coming in. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. We really appreciate you spending time with us and discussing this. We'll go to our website to get more information about aspirehub.org and more programs that are coming up. This was our Spring Connect for the spring break, so that students could connect with us using this time, because we don't want to take their time while they're supposed to be studying in school. And then we're going to have our Summer Connect as well. We're going to have so many fun activities and trainings. You could come if you want to learn about IT, financial literacy, French classes, leadership and personal development, introduction to project management, and other fun activities like cooking and baking. We have so much lined up for everyone. And, just go onto our website to see all of the information that we have. If there's going to be another session on this that's going to come up before the Summer Connect, we're going to let you know. We're going to publicize it as well. And is there anything I'm missing? Yeah, I think I've covered it. We've talked about Aspire Hub. This is basically what we do, training and mentoring underrepresented youth towards enhanced sustenance, responsible citizenship, and exemplary leadership. It has been an amazing time with everyone. I'm so glad that you all joined. Thank you very much for joining us. Please go ahead to watch the recording again on our website and on our social media. And please feel free to shoot us any questions. You can even DM me that, send me a direct message. If you have my contact, or send a message to us if you have more questions about.
Our email address is info@aspirehub.org, and I'm putting that in the chat as well.
Yes, okay, so that's it. I was putting it in the chat. So yeah, you can also send us an email at our email address, info@aspirehub.org. Yeah, is there anything we want to add before we wrap up the sessions for today? I feel like I don't want to go.
Okay, so does anyone have, who wants us to have this again soon? Put it in the chat or just unmute yourself. If you want us to have another session like this, probably like before end of April, sometimes in May. Our next, by our program, we're planning to have our next series of Connect in the summer, where we do trainings. We do have classes in cooking, and maybe have some session in baking, and we have language classes, things like that, fun stuff for the summer. Or if anyone wants us to, thinks that it will be good again to meet and talk about some of these issues before then, put it in the chat, and maybe we'll be encouraged to organize another one.
Yeah, Rolly said she's interested in having another session. Thank you, Rolly. Yeah, Opeyemi says another session soon would be great. Thank you. Oh, we're getting lots of votes for more sessions.
That's good. I'm excited about that. Okay, so we keep working. You will be getting to meet the beautiful brains and minds behind this project. In this room, we have Mayowa, we have Dami, we have Esther, we have myself. Let's see who else is in the room that is part of the working committee. I think it's just 4 of us today, but we are way more than that. And then you will be getting to know us and meet us. And one of our goals is to want to be a village, want to be a community, want to be that safe space where you can walk up to Auntie Mayowa and ask her questions, and she will be there to help you. We want to be, your big aunties and big uncles. We want to be there to help as we can. So please feel free to reach out to us. We're in the neighborhood, and you can also email info@aspirehub.org. Somebody will respond to you as soon as possible. I'm super excited to have every one of us. Thank you, Chino, for putting your camera on throughout and for smiling. You are amazing, and I hope we can cook together someday online. What would you like to cook if you were to cook? What would you like to cook?
I don't know. Probably brownie.
Maybe brownie? Okay. We can make some brownie.
Or pancake already.
Oh, yeah. And we can make them with different ingredients. We can make them with less sugar. We can make them with less fat, with some healthier ingredients, right? So we can work on that. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Mayowa, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. I have my namesake Mayowa here. She said, yes, she wants more sessions. She kind of sort of came in late for this, but I'm sure she's going to come early for the next sessions. Itunu Afoluke say yes, more sessions. Yes, more sessions. That's all I keep seeing in the chat box. So definitely we're going to have another session soon, like most likely before summer. We're going to go back, regroup, and get ready for another session. And maybe we'll make the next session an hour 30 minutes, because we've already taken 13 minutes more of people's time than we planned. And yes, thank you so much for everyone for being here. We appreciate you. We're going to put all of the recording and more information online, like I've mentioned before. Thank you, everyone. We're really glad to have you. And as we have come to the end of today's session, we will be looking forward to having you all in the next session. Just look out for information about the next session that's going to come up. I'm going to, publicize as much as I can to my network, and please go ahead to check our social media handles on our website. Thank you all very, very much for coming. We appreciate you. Bye. Bye, everyone. Sorry.
Bye, Maya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was great. That was a great session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did a great job.
Thank you. I'll go ahead to leave the meeting and then we can talk.
Okay.